And then Sly can do a calendar too, and they can hang that up next year.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. Alrighty then. You gentlemen ready to get started with State of the Realm?
Yeah,
let's do it.
all right.
Alright, yeah, if you say so, I guess. Whatever.
God, you sound so enthused.
That's how Ethys sounded. So blame him. Hello, everyone, and welcome to State of the Realm, your weekly Final Fantasy XIV podcast. This week, we have some more Palace of the Dead to talk about, our thoughts on it after the first week, and covering the lore behind it. I'm sure you can already tell who our guest is if you haven't read the title. On top of that, we're going to be talking about the Yokai Watch event, as we are going to dub it, and I apologize for my language. Yokai, go fuck yourself, because there's no way I'm finishing that whole thing. But anyway, I am your first host, Michael, Mr. Happy Poperomo. Joining me, as he does every week, is Slyh, a.k.a. Slythefox, a.k.a. Slyh, a.k.a. Greyfox, a.k.a. my boy Blue finished his Relic last night. Words. Yeah, he finished it. I was so excited I couldn't word myself.
I got my face spear.
He got his face spear. Now he just needs to get his Palace of the Dead spear, if he hasn't gotten it already, so he has that glamour.
No, but I do have 5 yokai right now. Yeah, I'm just chilling downstairs in my FC house with my UV on the couch, just chilling.
There you go.
And to be my first one.
Yeah, well, we'll talk about your first yokai, like we found out in the pre-show, or even pre-show. And of course, whenever we talk lore, you already know who to expect. He's practically a regular at this point. That would be Ethys Asher.
Hello, everyone. You know that your this is true lore talk. You know that your face spear is actually David Bowie, right?
I've heard this from you before, yeah.
Well, look at it. It's fucking David Bowie. It's Bally. Yeah, I mean, some people were expecting it to be, Yazel. Some people were expecting it to be Orchefort. It's David Bowie.
I mean, can you really complain about that, though?
No, not at all.
Now he has, what's that, his third reference in Final Fantasy XIV?
Third?
I don't know. I feel like there's a Fate named after one of his songs. That's all. I feel like with all the Fate names out there, like one of them is after.
They would absolutely have to be.
That is Bowie. Oh.
Yeah, it is. Right? It's fucking Bowie.
That's Bowie. Okay, Bowie doesn't sound quite like that. He doesn't sound quite like that. Okay.
No, not quite.
So first of all, I want to give a special thanks to Ethys, because he's the one who put the show notes together for this week. We told him we were doing lore, and he went out of his way to even add the Yokai Watch event to his notes, which has some amazing lore behind it.
Out of my way is definitely one way to put it.
Yep, that's one way to put it. So, funny thing, just last Tuesday, we asked ourselves, when is the Yokai Watch event going to happen? And within a week, they announced it and released it. It's like, thank you for the heads up. That was great. Thank you so much.
We were expecting it a bit earlier, weren't we? They were saying like mid-July.
They said summer, to be fair.
What was it, Live Letter 29? No, I'm pretty sure in Live Letter 29 they said like explicitly mid-July.
I don't know. I only remember them saying midsummer. I remember mid.
Oh, that might have been what I'm thinking of. Yeah,
and we were expecting after Palace of the Dead, though not a week after Palace of the Dead, I guess. That officially puts today at 6 weeks since patch 3.3.
Yeah.
And we still don't know when the next live letter is. So now that we don't know when that is, they can announce that tomorrow so we can look like idiots.
Pretty much.
I hope that my idea here works and we get a live letter announcement. I honestly at this point don't think we're going to see a live letter until the anniversary show, the 14-hour one.
Really?
I mean, it's end of July now. It's only 3 weeks until 3 to 3.5 weeks till the Rising, I'd imagine.
True. It's been a little while though, hasn't it? There was a period there we were getting them like every month, pretty much on the month.
Yeah. The last one we got was E3, which is in the middle of June.
Oh yeah.
But do you really count that as a true live letter?
It was about Palace of the Dead. Usually
it was a bit lackluster.
Yeah. But anyway, so Yokai Watch event. It came out today, and we've known the details,
Yes.
the at least the overall details of it since Thursday. But Ethys, before we get into those details, why don't you explain to us what the yokai are even doing in Eorzea?
Oh man, yeah, that's a really good question, and I'm not the only one that thinks that. So Akihiro Hino, he's got his little avatar hanging around.
Hold on, we have days since incident 0, by the way.
Oh, what did you do?
I have Burn's name bar instead of yours.
Ha!
So you are now Mr. Burn.
You are the magic man.
Yeah, you're Magic Man now. I mean, to be fair, it's a
Oh,
reasonable,
can I?
it's a reasonable upgrade for you. So
Wow. Oh, upgrade. Okay. All right.
all right, it's fixed.
Good to know.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we've got Akihiro Hino. He's the CEO of Level 5. He's got his little avatar hanging out in Gold Saucer. When he tells us his name, he's like, it's Nohi. Yeah, Nohi, that's right. So obviously that's a pretty lazy anagram. Anyway, so he tells us that he is basically a tradesman from far beyond the borders of Eorzea. And he manages a company that makes eccentric goodies. He's petitioned the Gold Saucer to use these little demon things for Lord of Verminion battles, and he's apparently just kicking everyone's ass, and everyone's getting really salty about. Anyway, one of these he's traveling with and has gotten lost somewhere in the Twelveswood. So we're sent to the Twelveswood, we're sent to Bent Branch, and we're asking around, and people are thinking that we're talking about a Moogle because we're talking about like this little white floating thing that won't shut the fuck up. So eventually we find out that one of the Pajali got a look at this thing and decided it was an unnatural presence, which is getting pretty meta here. I like this. Disturbing the elementals, and decided to steal him away. So we actually find the little critter in an elegant chest at the bottom of the Guardian Tree, inside a little, what is definitely not a Pokeball. It's definitely not a Pokeball, is it, Sly?
No, it's kind of like chest shape, I guess, sort of, kind of.
No, inside the chest, there's a little Allergan node.
Oh yes, it's an ADS. It's an ADS, yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, it just happens to be
Allergan
sent to me.
Pokeballs.
It's just an Allergan Pokeball. It's ridiculous. Anyway, so there's that. And Whisper breaks out. Whisper, being the little jism monster, tells us that he's a supernatural being.
Wait, before anything, are we going to stick that as?
I don't want to use the word "stick" with this at all.
He's a super monster. Yeah.
We're just calling Whisper Jizz Monster.
I like how at this point you might as well consider Boo from fucking Super Mario a jizz monster, because they're both white ghosts that float around.
You know what? That just made Super Mario way more enjoyable for me, if that was even possible. So yes, I'll allow it. So yeah, little Jizz Monster comes out, tells us that he's a supernatural being from some other land or some bullshit, gives us a watch and says, hey, if you fix that, when you wear that watch, you'll be able to see other supernatural beings that just happen to be all around the place. So we return to this Noe guy, he fixes the watch, and he tells us, basically the way it comes across is that he's brought like a whole bunch of these little slave yokai with him, and that he'll sell them to us for yokai medals. So yeah, that's what's happening there.
I mean, that's basically what Pokemon is. You understand that, right? And yokai is a Pokemon-like
Oh
game.
yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Pokemon's literally like, you're a wild creature, I'm going to subdue you, and you will do what I tell you to from now on.
Yeah, but he's selling them like he's a slave trader, is my point.
I mean, you can trade Pokemon. People trade Pokemon.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Can you sell them though?
You can turn them into candies now.
Yeah, that's true.
You can
Now,
stick them in a blender.
When we found out about this event in the live letter like ages ago, we came across the realization that Hino was a 14 player. Do you think that that's actually Hino's character? He's an Aura in 14?
Yeah, I think so. I think that that was, again, when they were talking about this several live letters back, I'm pretty sure that that's what they were hinting at. And they've also given him like the internal lore of managing this foreign company that makes these, toys and stuff like that. So they're trying to keep it all, I don't know, trying to keep it
True
consistent.
to character?
We'll put it that way. Fine, true to character.
You know, you say it's a lazy anagram, but I mean, it's not like they have many choices with 4 letters. I mean, they couldn't do Neo because of the other game that's coming out. They couldn't do. Well, they could have done Oni, or
Yeah, that's true.
or maybe
No,
Oni's Rare Studios.
I did say a lazy anagram. What I really meant to say was that
really.
the way they're doing it is lazy.
In terms of them kind of shoehorning it in.
Yeah, and we'll get to that. But I mean, like, you can't really do it any other way.
Yeah. All right.
But how do we compare this to other events, so to speak? The Dragon Quest event, the 11, the 13-3 Lightning Return. Well, was 13-3?
Well, yeah. It was for lightning.
Yeah.
It was the lightning returns one.
Lightning Returns. But yeah, how do we compare it? Because essentially, I guess this is the more, I wouldn't say intuitive event, but it has a lot more to offer than just, do a fates here, do a quest here, go get this. Yeah, you got glamour.
Well, Sly, it's that, but it's that 26 times.
Yeah, exactly. It's basically that a whole bunch of times.
All right. So on top of that, after you get all the minions, which you mentioned, you get a mount, you get the Whisper Go mount, and then you can start collecting weapons. And the weapons are collected in the same way that the minions are, except that instead of the watch, you need the minions, and that they're in specific zones and whatnot. We actually have there's a guide over on Reddit that's trying to outline things as they happen, including the prices of the minions based on the amount of medals you need. So it's you know, you can get weapons too. And something Ethys didn't know prior to our pre-show also was that there's 2 mounts from this event.
2 mounts. Well, is it 2 mounts? I mean, because it's kind of the same mount. It's just like a couple extra things, right? It's
Whisper Go, and then it's the Whisper A Go, and it is a flashy upgrade according to the item's description. And on top of that, the achievement associated with it is called More Inventory Space, Please.
They're listening. They're listening. We won.
That is so fucking cheeky.
Everyone was so happy when they saw that the medallions were going to have their own separate inventory system. And then they was like, but the weapons don't. The weapons don't.
No, but we have an armoire for the weapons.
Thankfully, we have an armoire for the weapons.
I would at least hope you do have an armoire for the weapons.
So, gentlemen, how much have you done the Yokai Watch event so far? Don't make that face again. It's already happened once before the show even started that somebody captured your face.
I've done it. Like, I've got I've done the quest. I've unlocked it. I've done a couple of fates here and there, but it's hundreds. It is hundreds of fates for something. I mean, like, I kind of like the mount. The mount's pretty cool. Running around in a little jism car is, a dream come true. I never realized I even had. But I just don't really care about these rewards. I don't know, the weapons, aside from a couple of them, I think the monk fists look really pretty cool, but most of the weapons just look silly.
I mean, yeah,
we already knew this going into it because when we saw the live letter, we were waiting on.
I was thinking the same thing then. I was like, I don't care about Lord of Verminion. These rewards look kind of silly. I don't know if I really want to put hours and hours into this.
1,000 hours. All right, calm down. It's not 1,000 hours at this.
I didn't say 1,000 hours. I said hours and hours.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's quite a few hours that you'll need to put into this.
Yeah.
So for anyone who doesn't know how the basic part of the event work, you get the watch, you go do fates. Most people seem to be collecting all their minions in Outer Lenosha and Gilgamesh. That seems to be the premier place to go for whatever reason. I guess because all of the Kobold fates are kind of infinitely respawning. Like the one finishes, then the other one starts and finishes, then they just go back and forth. Plus other ones spawn in between, so it's really quick respawns and little travel time on fates. You get a bunch of these medals, you go trade them in for the minions, and once you have all 13 minions, you get a Whisper Go mount. You then need to go to designated zones with the minion alongside you to get legendary medals, which have a rarer drop rate. And the more minions and mounts you collect, the more expensive the next minion and the next mount becomes. So you just, fates and fates and fates and fates and fates and fates and fates.
Yay! Were we expecting a little bit more of a story? Because the way they were talking about, this is going to be the biggest event that we've ever done, stuff like that, I was like, oh, maybe we're actually going to get like a storyline to unlock each of these guys, and there's going to be something a little bit more involved. But no, it's just a 5-minute quest and a bunch of fates, and yeah, I don't know much to say about it.
Well, for me, I actually didn't expect anything more than fates, because first of all, Yokai Watch is basically Pokemon. And fate grinding is literally exactly what I associate with Pokemon. Like, run around in the tall grass. When it spawns, throw the ball at it. In this case, it's run around in the tall grass. Bunch of dudes also running around in the small grass. And you're all trying to catch the same Pokemon.
We're just a bunch of dudes running around in tall grass.
Yeah, a bunch of dudes running around in tall grass. That's all you need to know.
Bunch of dudes hanging out.
There you go. And I don't know, I didn't expect more because this is a collaboration event, and the last thing I want them to do is make it too extravagant. Until they hire a dedicated team that says, you are our special events team, you will come up with unique things. This is literally being developed by the same people who developed the rest of the game, from what I can understand.
Well, to be fair, all of the minions and weapons were actually designed by level 5.
But they had to be implemented into...
Yeah, they had to be implemented, but I mean, like, we're not wasting a whole bunch of resources in designing these weapons to start with. These weapons were designed by level 5 and then implemented by the Final Fantasy team. So it's not like we're already using a bunch of development resources for it.
I mean, we had to use something, I'd imagine, but they're not...
Yeah, we did something, but it's nothing excessive, I don't think.
But it's never been excessive when it comes to these events. That's the thing to remember. I'd rather they keep it that way until they have a dedicated team. As soon as they have a dedicated team that goes, hey, we are going to make cool, unique events, and that's what we were hired to do. That's the only way you get interesting events out of these things.
And I'll admit this is the longest event in terms of, the things you actually have to do within the event, whereas the other ones were what, maybe 15, 25 minutes at most. And like you wait on a fade or two, like 30 minutes at most. That was it. So it's a pretty lengthy event depending on how much you want to put into it.
Yeah.
But again, that goes on you whether you want to do it or not. Like, I'll do it. I'll essentially do it in terms of the completionist side, just to get everything.
Yeah, I'm probably the same, to be honest, at the end of the day. Yeah. What about you, Happy? Are you going to do it? You're going to complete it?
I got 2 months. I got Final Fantasy count up. It's going to go pretty slow, but yeah, I'm going to complete it.
Are you going to enjoy completing it?
I probably won't mind too much. I actually have some use for some Grand Company seals, so I guess I won't mind that too much. Because I'm doing the second anima, so collecting the moonstones isn't all too bad for me. I guess as much as I mean, Palace of the Dead is running around killing stuff, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. So as much as I enjoy running around killing stuff in Palace of the Dead, I'm playing an MMO because I want to run around and kill stuff, ultimately.
You really want to boil it down. Yeah.
I want to run around and kill stuff. I mean, that's not going to be thought-provoking. But then again, fates never have been, so I didn't expect it to be. One thing I'm surprised is we didn't get any unique fates of any kind regarding this.
Yes, I agree. That would have been interesting if we actually had some unique fates, some kind of giant yokai, or like we had for Final Fantasy XI and Dragon Quest X.
I mean, we even had it for like the Easter event. Had the egg that spun around that you had to dodge the giant AOE's. I mean,
that's true.
And then even I remember the Easter event before that where they had the egg holding Spriggans that would spawn around the world, and you could collect the eggs from them. Even though that was basically Final Fantasy XI, everyone complained about it. Like, oh, I got there, it just didn't spawn. It's got a 2-hour respawn. This guy killed it, and no one else can get credit. So you want it to be a fate. No, fates suck. Fucking make up your mind, then. What do you want?
Yeah.
Welcome to the problem that there is. What about you guys?
Verminion? What about Lord of Verminion? Do you think it's going to reinvigorate that?
No.
Are either of you guys playing Lord of Verminion at the moment?
Fuck no.
Do you think anyone's going to be like, oh, sweet, Yokai?
Lord of Verminion players who actually take stock into it, which is barely minimal, minimal side of the community. Other than that, like people are just going to want the minions just to have minions.
So you don't think it's going to draw anyone new into Lord of Verminion who's like a yokai fan? It's like, yeah, I get to battle with yokais. Because I mean, I'm gonna be real. If it was a Pokemon event, I would go and play Lord of Verminion just to play.
No, I would go and play a Pokemon game. I would go and play Pokemon.
All right, well, I'm just a sucker then. That's fine.
I've gotten everything I need out of Lords of Verminion. I do think it's funny though that I've been calling it a Lords of Verminion expansion, and that's pretty much what the story is.
Yeah, that's exactly what the story is. Yeah, that's what they're trying to, use to motivate you. What are you doing, Sly?
He's playing Pokemon.
Why aren't you playing Pokemon on your phone?
Come on, Sly. Nintendo's gonna take this video down. Put it away.
All right.
We can't have that because people want to watch our videos on YouTube.
What? If I play Pokemon Go on my 3DS that's not streamed to the stream, it'll get taken down? What, Nintendo?
Probably not, but can't ever take any chances.
Yeah.
You can't take any chances.
Nintendo.
Yeah. Well, I guess Niantic's a little different, but that's besides the point. What about you? Are you gonna enjoy it? You look so excited when I told you there were 2 mounts.
No. Look, I'm gonna do
the same mount at that.
The thing is, if you've got reason to be doing fates, and it's like another thing, it's like, repopulating fates. And that's great because there's a lot of people that are still leveling using fates and stuff like that. And that's always a good thing to be repopulating that kind of content. But no, I don't have any sub 50 classes. I don't really have any need for seals. So yeah, I'll do it. But I think I'm going to be pretty, it's going to be pretty tedious.
Don't do it more than half an hour to an hour a day. You got 2 months. Yeah,
of course. Yeah. And same for everyone else. Like, it is important to know this isn't like normal events that only last for a couple of weeks. It's going to be 2 months. You've got a long fucking time to get through it. So just do it absolutely.
Even if you're just hanging out in Quarry Mill waiting for your friends to log in to do Palace of the Dead and you just see a fate.
Yeah.
I don't even know if that zone qualifies. I haven't done the Yokai Watch.
Yeah, it does. All of the ARR zones qualify.
Does Northern Dandelion? Because somebody told me Northern Dandelion didn't work.
Maybe not. That would make sense. Yeah,
they didn't want everyone just going to Northern Dandelion because that would have been the default place to go.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that does make sense.
However, the most important question, whether or not you're going to enjoy this event, okay. What about, are you going to go play Yokai Watch? Because it's the whole point of a collaboration event, right?
Obviously, that's the whole point of it. We're going to go and watch the Gokus. We're going to go and buy the game. I don't know.
Watch the Gokus? What does that even mean?
Well, they made a Gokus about it.
You want to put that into words that normal people can understand?
They made an anime about Yokai Watch. They made the Gokus.
They made the Gokus. Is that what we're calling it now?
You know what use the Gokus as a blanket term for all.
Is that the cool kids term? Or, yeah, okay, all right. I'll use that now. I'll start.
All right. Well, can you Kaioken fucking explain to me how you feel about this campaign right now?
That was just wrong. No. Do that again.
Kaio, can you explain it?
Oh, God.
That's better.
Okay, yeah, because I said, can you Kaioken explain it?
Can you Kaioken?
Yeah, there you go.
Is that what you're trying to do? Yeah. I feel that. Look, no, it's probably. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. When I saw the Allergan Pokeball thing, I was like, really, Yokai using Pokeballs? And I went and looked on the wiki page for Yokai, and I was like, there's something like Pokeballs here, because if there is, that's fucking bullshit. And there's not, as far as I can tell. So I mean, they got me to look at a wiki, so that's something, I guess. I don't know. What about you, Sly? You were like, ooh, maybe
you got a 3DS right there, Sly. Come on.
Maybe I should check out this Yokai.
Actually, play a legit Pokemon game.
Yokai's huge, man. You can't ignore that. It's huge in Japan.
Yeah, they've sold over 500,000 units, and it only released the first one released at the end of 2013, I think.
Something like that.
But you're talking about, and again, you're talking about the Japanese market. Here in North America, we've already had something for around a decade or two. And
yeah, but the Japanese market had Pokemon as well, and they've obviously found room for both.
For I think North America, it's too late. It's
But like a quarter of North Americans are weebs anyway.
A quarter.
Thanks.
80 million people, basically.
Let's be right. Yeah, exactly. Let's be right. At least 20 million of those 80 million people are massive weebs that'll buy into any new Japanese franchise.
How about Australia? What's the weeb to Australian percentage over in
The
Australia?
weeb to Australian ratio.
Yeah, over in
It's honestly it's pretty similar. Yeah, it's pretty similar. I'd say maybe 1 in 10, 2 in 10.
Okay, there you go. Fair
and,
enough.
and another thing you got to consider is level 5. They do a bunch more stuff than Yokai Watch. I mean, you got Phoenix Wright, you got Inazuma 11.
So you're saying we're gonna have a Phoenix Wright collaboration next? Can I get a Phoenix Wright minion that just goes objection? Because that'll look artistically similar, just like Yokai Watch did, right?
Yeah.
I'd be into that.
No. We're not gonna get a Phoenix Wright. We're gonna get a Nino Kuni.
Yeah, there you go, Nino Kuni.
Yeah.
I don't need no Kuni. There we go.
Jeez, you're on fire this morning.
I'm done. I'm done. Good
No,
night.
that
Good night, everyone.
That one I took
That
from.
was State of the Realm. Happy work when they find you.
No, that's that one I took from Barbara Dunkelman from Rooster Teeth.
Rooster Teeth.
Yeah, I took that one from Barbara
B Dunk.
because she made that one a long time ago. He's like, I don't need no.
Shout
Kuni.
out to B Dunk.
There you go. B Dunk. Oh my God, kill me now.
Wait, so have we decided that it's probably not going to be an amazingly successful marketing campaign?
Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so.
It'll get people to look, and there's no doubt that some people will absolutely. It'll be successful on some people, absolutely.
Right.
Some people don't even know. Like some people who don't even play 14, they'll be like, "What the heck is Yokai Watch? Oh, that looks cool." They'll play it. They'll just hear about it. They'll get an email about it from their account that they haven't played in 2 years, and then that's it. And then they'll just move on from there. And it'll be fine.
Yeah, I think you're right. Now, the big question for me, for obvious reasons, and I saw a lot of people making noise about this already, is the way that the quest, the way this event has been presented, just completely breaks immersion. So, what do you? Happy, you obviously haven't done it yet, but I'm sure you can imagine. What about you, Sly? I mean, because it does. It's like it's really half-assed. It's like, oh yeah, he's from outside of Eorzea. And he's got these creatures, and they're supernatural. Yeah, they're supernatural.
Did we ever have it explained to us why a fucking giant mechanical behemoth just randomly showed up in New York too?
Yeah, because the gods were testing lightning.
Yeah. Yeah, the gods were testing lightning.
It's a pretty big cop out, though.
No. Look, yeah,
it was a cop out.
You've got a point. The people that are complaining about this, I can't help but suspect that they weren't around for Lightning Returns and for the Final Fantasy XI
Dragon
and
Quest and
events, because I did the same thing. But I think it's still an interesting question. And the one, I thought it was really funny, but it would kind of be rubbing salt in the wound for a lot of people who are frustrated about their immersion being broken, is that's kind of what the Pajali are all about. They see these things in the shroud and they're like, nah, they don't belong in this universe. Get the fuck out of here. That's like literally what they're doing. And we're like, no, we're gonna release them, and yeah, let's party with the yokais. I don't know. Do you guys feel like it's a legitimate complaint to be like, oh, this breaks my immersion and it spoils the canon?
All collaboration, in my opinion, all collaboration events, quote unquote, break immersion. That's why they're a collaboration
Exactly.
event. That's why PSO2 has no immersion. It's literally just one walking collaboration event.
Yeah,
that game.
Do you think it's like a legitimate concern though? Because I don't even treat these as canonical. I mean, obviously, like I'm super concerned about everything being, consistent consistent is probably the best way.
Because it wasn't completely immersion breaking when we walked into the fucking Square Enix office last year for the Rising.
Well, we explained that because we were like, oh, it's just a dream or something.
It's again a bullshit cop out, but all the
yeah, exactly.
But that was more forgiven than
because it was at least about our game.
Yeah,
right.
But my attitude is that I just don't treat these as canonical.
No,
Right.
neither do I.
But
And
a lot of
and
people
no one should
want to well, a lot of people want to insist on them being treated canonically, and
Why?
they feel it just ruins their immersion. I don't know why. I'm just saying, like, people have been complaining about it.
And the portion of people you're probably talking about are the newer players who have gotten into it, haven't seen a collaboration event yet. This is their first collaboration event, and it confuses them. It confuses the living shit out of them for obvious reasons. But once you kind of get used to it, do more collaboration events like the 11 event, which comes every so often. The Dragon Quest event, we might get another one as soon as Dragon Quest gets closer to release. You'll get used to it. Like, even when I saw the Lightning Returns event for the first time, that was neat. But I knew for a fact that it, canonically speaking, it had no business in Aorta. Like, it's kind of a common sense thing. You have to think about, like, really, again, why are you seeing a giant mechanical behemoth in Aorta?
Right.
And you throw whatever little bit of lore into that you possibly can, but know for a fact that it is not canon. It has nothing to do with the current story or anything that's going on.
Well, wouldn't it be better in a way then if they didn't even bother trying to fit it in there? Because the way that they have, like, tried to make it, like, feel like it fits in Eorzea means, like, oh, we're supposed to treat this as canonical. You know what I mean? Whereas, like, I'd be much happier if they did like they did with the level 13, if they were just like, hey, you're on holiday and someone spiked your drink with Somnus and you just, like, walked around tripping for 3 days collecting yokais.
Okay.
I mean, I actually, I don't know. I kind of appreciate the little effort that they do take into, putting it putting it into our world. Is it necessary? That's up to you to decide. That's up to you, the consumer, to decide.
It's up to me.
Yeah, it's up to you.
You're a consumer.
Specifically up to me. Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I have a question for you now regarding canonical. I can tell you right now that anyone complaining about this right now, they are not the same people who want us to fight Sephiroth in this game.
You know what? I think you're probably right about that. Yeah.
Because
you're probably right about that.
And I don't want to hear this bullshit. Oh, he could use the void. No, shut up. All right, we've had
Gilgamesh already does that to begin with.
And Gilgamesh in Final Fantasy XIV barely even seems to know he used the void. He's
Yeah,
just like,
exactly.
I lost my friend and ended up here.
Again,
That's it.
Your version was the one that made the most sense.
I don't know. I liked his 13.2 version where he was Deadpool.
Oh yeah, that was.
He's literally Deadpool in 13.2. He pops out of a port. He pops out of a portal and immediately goes, "I never thought you'd find me in this game's coding. Thought I would be trapped in there forever." And then he pulls out a bunch of guns that literally look like Deadpool's guns.
Yep.
Oh dear.
He's literally Deadpool. It's a great fight with it. It's still a great Gilgamesh fight though.
They always are. They're always so much fun.
I think the 13.2 is one of the best Gilgamesh fights.
Mm-hmm.
It's so satisfying in every way. And I'm not a huge 13.2 guy either. Okay, so ultimately, Yokai Watch event, good try, Square Enix, but nah, pass.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm gonna take a total pass. It's a good effort. Like you said, it's a good effort, good try. I'm still gonna do it. Like, people are. When I did actually get on, just go after medals, people were actually doing, fates. Not a lot of people do fates now. It gives people a reason to do fates. So
yeah,
if you're anything that incentivizes doing, older content, I'm all for it. I'm all for it.
I agree with you, Sly. I think any events are better than no events.
Yeah.
I think it's a good thing. It's not perfect, but yeah, it's a good thing. What do you think, Mike?
Couldn't hurt.
Yeah.
It's fates.
Okay.
It's fates. I've done plenty. I've done thousands.
Yeah.
What's a few more?
Yeah. What's a few more hundreds?
That's a few hundred more. Yeah. The drop rates I hear are actually not that bad. There's some people who already have like 2 or 3 weapons completed. After
Well, the drops are guaranteed on silver and gold.
For the minions, but for the mount for the legendaries, no, they're not.
They're not?
No.
But they're obviously better than Atlas if people have got a bunch of them already.
Yeah, there's a few people who will probably have the Whisper or Go-Go mount by tomorrow.
Shit.
Yeah, so an hour a day seems like a reasonable thing. Although I would like to point out that we almost skipped over this when we started the call before we actually started State of the Realm. Sly was complaining how he had no minions after 2 hours. We found out that he thought the minions dropped directly from the fates.
From the fates.
And
Just
that
gonna call him out on that.
and that the medals were only for the weapons.
Toss me under the fucking bus. Thank you, Mike. Thank you.
Man.
It was just so
So,
funny.
like, right when he told me that, I went right to the gold saucer, bought like 5 minions. Boom. Are you good? Are we good now? Kosher?
Go get the other 8,
Damn
Yeah, no, we're not.
and then go get all the weapons, and you'll be good to go. There you go. Oh, look, see? Well, no, so just to be clear, for those who came in late, there are 2 mounts. There's the Whisper mount, and there's the Whisper a Go-Go, there's 2 mounts from the event. The Whisper a Go-Go is from all 13 weapons, which is the legendary mount, pretty much, from it. So, if you thought you were done when you got the first mount, have fun. Anyway, so one thing that we started talking about last week, but we only got to give first impressions of it, was Palace of the Dead, our first ever deep dungeon. Now, we're going to go into a bit of a lore talk here, but first, it's now been out a week. We had a hot fix this morning. How was our first week with Palace of the Dead, Sly?
I did it for, 2 days? It was decent. It was decent. I'm actually going back now to kind of try to finish my solo run. Got through 11 through 20 on Sunday. So I might go back in tonight. All in all, good bit of content. Once I get my actual weapon, my arm and armor to 30 and 30, I'm not going to break it. I'm not going to hang on to it for, challenge sake. Because I already have a good enough weapon. But once I do that, there's really no other reason to revisit.
What about you, Ethys? How's your first week been with Palace of the Dead?
Yeah, I think it's good. I'm nearly at 30. I'm at like 29-30, which is really fucking annoying because I have to start it all over again. But I've run through it maybe half a dozen times, and after a couple of times, the first like 20 floors, 30 floors maybe, they're really tedious. Let's be real, they're really, really tedious. But the last couple of instances are still, I don't know, they're a lot of fun. They're really engaging. They're not particularly challenging, but I think it's just because you have that sort of progression reset risk makes it more compelling. Makes me feel like I wish they'd done it in more content, which I'm sure a lot of people would hate, the idea of having your progress reset in like an expert dungeon if you wiped. But I don't know, I think just having that makes it kind of really compelling and interesting in a way. So I'm really enjoying it. I think it's great. I think it's a good piece of content, and I'm really excited to see what they do with it in future patches.
So, for myself, I did 7 runs with fixed parties all the way through. I got to plus 30, plus 28. And then I did a solo run. I have completed Palace of the Dead solo with my monk, 1 to 50, whole thing. And it was easily the best way to enjoy the content for myself. Way more intense when you're fighting, when you're really racing the clock on those later floors to make sure that you can level up, collect the commanders that you need. Yeah. And getting the correct commanders is probably the toughest part. And when you're a monk and you have no ranged attacks to pull mobs out of a room, every step you take into a room to try and pull a monster is it's a nightmare. You have to be afraid of everything. Sight commanders were god tier as a monk. Safety commanders. So I would highly recommend before handing in their weapon that they go and at least try 21 to 40. Because 1 to 20 is fairly easy. 21 to 40 is really the difficulty spike. And 41 to 50, there's some difficulty to it, but you'll be level 60 so quick, you end up just skipping so many enemies.
Yep.
True story, on floor 49, though, in my solo run, I got 2 +1s from the silver chest and finished my 30-30.
Oh,
nice.
On the solo run. So I got
On the last
really,
floor. Jeez.
yeah, it was really, and then I was just like, don't fuck up,
Pretty
don't
good.
don't fucking die to Edda. You better not fucking die to Edda now. There's more at stake here than you understand, Happy. You can't do this, man. So plus 30 on Monk, finish all 50 floors. Yeah, good luck with that solo. And I mean that just because it's tough. It gets really tough.
Which was the hardest boss to solo? Was it Spurge? I feel like it would have
No,
been Spurge.
Spurge was really easy as Monk. Like, really easy. The thing is, all the bosses are hard if you're going in and you're starting at 0-0 and you're trying to solo.
Yeah. But
They're
30-30.
all really hard if you do that. If you're already 30-30, then it is just a matter of making sure you level up enough to complete it and making sure you collect a decent enough assortment of Pomanders. Because if you don't get rage Pomanders, the less rage Pomanders you get, the harder it gets. Because getting basically a free floor skip on a rage Pomander is really, really nice.
Are there certain floors that, like, do you save the rage Pomanders for, like, the last couple of floors in an instance?
I tried
When did you actually start getting rage commanders? Because I didn't start seeing
floor
it.
22, 23.
That's what I thought. Okay.
After floor 20, I started getting rage Pomanders. I will use them anytime I have a Pomander of alteration for the next floor, because if it's mimics, then I can kill them instantly, because I don't want a room full of mimics. And when you're solo, you don't want to. Yeah. And then if it ends up being the Mandragoras, then whatever, right? Like, then I get free EXP, which is what they're there for. And then also, whenever I have a Pomander of Fortune, I make sure that I don't use it on a floor where I have Pomanders of Strength active, because to me, that's a waste of a minute of a Pomander of Strength and a Pomander of Steel. So it depends on when I get them, but I won't keep them very long. Just don't use them on floors 21 to 30, save them for, you use them on 21 to 40. They're not really needed for 41 to 50 at all. So
right, but you're not hoarding them for emergency use only.
No, the only thing it's okay to keep one if you're a monk, because if you get pacified and you turn into the Manticore ignores the pacification, so you can still attack with it on. So it's good to have as a backup, but I just pretended as if I would use it on floors where I knew I wasn't going to get pacified, pretty much, with like safety Pomanders or sight Pomanders. It's really all about maximizing Pomander usage. It's very little about your actual job, except for Machinist, who has no self-heals, which will be my next solo, other than the potion. So you're pretty fucked. I feel like I'm pretty fucked on Machinist, but we'll see.
Well, if you got a lot of potions, you should be all right.
Having now fought the later bosses, I'm not 100% confident in that. The amount of damage they output does get fairly high.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I'm thinking of the floors in between. You can pretty much cut everything, because I managed to get like what did I get to? I got to 38 or something on Bard. So it wasn't too bad.
Bard at least has second wind.
That's true. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah, Machinist doesn't have that.
No, Machinist doesn't have second wind. No bloodbath. They literally are just taking a bunch of potions.
Well,
yeah.
you fucked that, don't you?
And I found out that a lot of the CC skills don't work on a lot of enemies.
Yes,
so
that's true.
Yeah, that's true.
I tried knocking back beetles. Didn't work. I tried slowing. I tried slowing the movement speed on a few things. Didn't work. It works on some, but it just doesn't work on all of them.
Yeah.
So
Stun works on pretty much everything.
yeah, the stun is good, but I mean it's a stun. Like,
It's not
it's
perfect on everything though.
Yeah.
No.
And you're only choosing between that and a silence. Like a silence or a stun, you're gonna go with the stun every time. That's the no-brainer. So
every day.
but yeah, no, it's scary. It's scary as a machinist.
So you're gonna do a solo race?
I want to do a solo race, especially if Sly's keeping his 30-30, because I'm keeping my 30-30.
Yeah, I'll keep my 30-30. Absolutely, we should do a race.
But it's a race, however, if you die, you're out.
Fine.
Of course.
Yeah.
You're disqualified.
Like a speedrun race. So you die, you're out.
Well, no, in the speedrun race, if somebody dies, it's always
going.
yeah.
I remember for the Super Metroid race, once they died, it was kind of no deal.
Yeah, it depends on the game, and it depends on if it's a game where it's like the death just sends you back like maybe half a screen to a checkpoint versus makes you start the whole level over.
Yeah, they're not even taking time to save though. So yeah, it pretty much once you die,
you die, you done. That's it. That's what we're gonna do. We'll make it happen at some point.
All right.
And in Super Metroid, they don't save, so that's why.
That's what I said.
Yeah, if it's a game you don't save, yeah, then you're pretty fucked. Okay, so with Palace of the Dead, the big thing about Palace of the Dead is running through. There's not a whole heaping lot of story that's fed to you, spoon-fed to you, but there's a whole lot that's that's not said. And in case you haven't seen it, Ethys has released a part 1 video of Palace of the Dead. I do not know if part 2 is out yet because I haven't checked YouTube.
No, I haven't released part 2 yet. No.
Which goes over some of the NPCs, some of the layouts, some of the texture, some of the not textures, the architecture. That's what I meant to say. Texture was the right word, but it was architecture that I was looking for. So, Ethys, I'm going to let you take the wheel and host this part of the show. Palace of the Dead lore, go.
Ooh.
Ask us questions.
A lot of people were asking me when I released a video, they were like, wait, there's lore in the Palace of the Dead? Really? There's enough for 2 videos? Are you fucking kidding me, dude? This is a stretch.
It's not that much of a stretch. It's not that much of a stretch.
All between the lines.
It's Gilmoran, so...
Yeah, totally. The one thing that did bother me, though, is our motivation for going in there. I don't know if you guys noticed something I didn't, but we had no reason to go there.
We're the Warrior of Light.
Because we're fucking adventurers, man.
Yeah, is it like we showed up and they're like, oh yeah, there's like this portal down there. We're not letting anyone in, but you're an adventurer. You can go in if you want. Well, like, YOLO.
Yeah, I mean, that's how the whole game happened.
I don't know if that's how the whole game happened. That's how the whole game started.
And then you still do it the whole time. That's why people always go, your adventurer just does whatever people tell him to do. Like, yeah, sure, I'll go in there. It's pretty dangerous.
It didn't really bother me. I just thought that it was interesting, considering the way it was being teased to us, the fact that we knew that Edda was going to be down there. I thought that we would have worked out something about Edda and been like, oh, we need to get involved in this shit. But we didn't even know she was there when we went in there, presumably.
Right.
And I don't think I missed anything. Yeah, I don't
no,
think
we didn't know.
There,
no, you didn't.
All right. So the next question is, what is this place actually? Sly, you made the point, it's Gelmora. What do we know about Gelmora? What do you know about Gelmora, Sly?
Well, Gelmora was...
defending champion of Aelzivia, Sly.
Gelmora is one of the ancient civilizations. We go in there, I know there's that dungeon-wise, a part of it is basic bitch Totorak.
That's not clear. Totorak, all we know for sure about Totorak is that it was once used as a prison by the Pajali. But I think the duty text, the text in our duty finder actually says that it was like built as a prison for the Pajali, which kind of implies that it wasn't Gelmoran. Although I kind of agree with you, and I feel like intuitively it's got to be, a Gelmoran structure that's been like, remodeled or requisitioned or whatever. But yeah, fine. We have Totorak. What else do we got?
We got the Deep Croft, of course. It's our Deep Croft.
Yeah, that's the obvious one.
And the last one was the Cellars. I can't remember the name of
the Montoy Cellars. Yeah, are remnants of Gelmoran structures. And also we have in the North Shroud, there's a smashed up sort of like portal entrance thing to a Gelmoran ruin, which was a lot more sort of intact in 1.0. We got some good screenshots of that as well. And we see, bits of Gelmoran structures that are sort of randomly scattered throughout the Shroud. So what Gelmora basically was, as far as we can tell, was the survivors of Amdapor. So after the end of the War of the Magi and the Great Flood, the elementals we know are basically like, nah, we're having none of that. Get the fuck out. No more people in the 12s would. So they were forced underground, effectively. So that's what Gelmora is. Mm-hmm. Well, it was after the flood. I think it was like once the flood had receded. And also, I suspect that maybe the 12s wasn't flooded because I feel like the elementals are causing the flood, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think the elementals are going to be like, fuck the forest. We're going to flood the forest. I don't really see them doing that.
I left myself muted, by the way, because I was switching my headset, so that staves out incident 0 again.
Hours without incident 0.
Hours without incident, yeah. Hour.
You had to switch your headsets.
Well, I had to switch the battery because it was beeping in my ear and it was dying.
Oh, that.
So when Sly started talking, I made sure to take my headset off.
Right. So what about the purpose of this structure? Have you guys seen any hints down there? Because we're not explicitly told that. I mean, we're told that the Palace of the Dead is a name that has been coined by the locals of Quarrymill, and I don't know how they managed to get so fucking close to the mark. Because as far as I'm concerned, it is really close to the mark. But like that doesn't necessarily have any bearing on what the structure actually is. So do you guys have any theories about that?
Dungeon House of the Dead. I want to kind of say that it's kind of reeked with Voidsent, but like we've only got the tip of the iceberg now because we're on the first 50 floors. But as we get deeper and deeper, we're gonna start seeing more of Voidsent. So, or maybe we wouldn't see Diablos himself because he's just concerned about Void Art bullshit.
No, I don't think we'll see Diablo.
Yeah, something. The thing, and I'm going to talk about this in a little while. The thing that kind of had its grasp on Edda, because my whole theory with Edda is, bitch wasn't crazy. She, like, we found out when you kind of set her free, she wasn't fucking crazy. Like, something made her fucking crazy.
She was fucking crazy from the start, dude.
But okay, when she was free, that seemed normal. That seemed like normal Edda.
The fact that she was like
not holding on to a fucking
guy. I mean, like,
yeah.
He's my fiance. We're going to get married. And he's like, shut up, bitch. Who the fuck are you? And she's like, oh, I love you. I love you, Avir. Yeah, she's always been crazy. But I know what you're saying. We found out that she's being manipulated by something or someone the whole time. But what does that? Do you think that tells us something about the nature of the structure?
In terms of what
it functionally
what the
did.
purpose of it is, what the function of the Palace of the Dead, whatever it is, actually is.
I don't think it's where they lived. There's literally not I don't pay attention to every single room, but there's no living quarters anywhere there.
They lived as far as we know, they lived in Isomhar, and Isomhar is where this portal has appeared, but the structure isn't, it might be directly below Isomhar for all we know. No, there's a lot of stuff in there that gives us like some really heavy-handed hints as to what's actually going on. I mean, the first and most obvious one is the fact that we go down there and there's coffins everywhere, and there are assets that are reused from the Deepcroft, but there are still coffins like set into the walls and stuff of most rooms. The second is a lot of the items and stuff we find in there. So what is a pomander? Do either of you guys know what a pomander is? I'm sure a lot of people have been wondering about this one as well.
It's like a flask that you keep like perfumes in or some shit?
It's like a ball, isn't it?
Yeah. So it's like a little incense ball, and you see a lot of like classical depictions of priests and stuff like that, and a lot of like Orthodox Catholic priests still kind of use this thing where they'll have like a big chain around their neck and a pomander hanging off it, and it'll be filled with like incense or herbs, sometimes like burning herbs, and they'll sort of like swing it around to sort of cleanse a space. The idea is that, well, obviously it smells nice. It stops you in the Middle Ages from smelling like a corpse, but it's also supposed to have this sort of like spiritual cleansing element to it. So the fact that we've got this place just full of all of these little pomanders everywhere is quite telling, alongside the coffins. Also, like you say, Sly, we have a lot of void sense, and we know that nothing attracts void sense quite like corpses do. And we have the bosses. So let's see if I can remember them. We've got Death Gaze,
Palace Death Gaze.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry.
It's probably because Death Gaze is a fate boss out in the Central Shroud.
Yeah, and it seems that it's just one of these death gazes that are sort of wandered in there. But as we get deeper, we have Spurge, and Spurge is it's a type of plant that is named for the old French word "espurgier," which means basically to cleanse or to purge. So we've got a big plant monster here that I guess is like a big living pomander in a way. What do we have next? Is Ixtab next, or is it
No, it's the Hydra. Neon something. Nishan. Yeah.
Nishangri. Wait, hang on. I've got Ninshazita, that's it. I
There
don't
you
know
go.
why that one escaped me. So Ninshazita is, I believe, Mesopotamian. Is a Mesopotamian god of the underworld, and is normally depicted as this sort of multi-headed snake. So we have a god of the underworld. Again, real sort of void sense, sort of death kind of idea. And then we have Ixtab.
Who is the goddess of suicide.
Well, it's a Mayan. Did we say Mayan?
Mayan.
Yeah, so it's a Mayan psychopomp. So it's someone that will accompany people on their journey to the next world, but specifically accompanies people who have hanged themselves. So yeah, effectively is the god of suicide. So we have a lot of like really heavy-handed hints here that I think is enough to say that, like I say, it seems like the citizens of Quarry Mill are really close to the mark that this is some kind of mausoleum. And what has happened is we've got a bunch of dead bodies here, which have attracted void sense. And it's sort of, gotten out of hand in the same way that, it got out of hand in Hawk Manor, in Tamtara Deepcroft, in any dungeon where we have a bunch of dead bodies just lying around.
The Void Ark.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, are we sure that, like, as we go deeper, that it serves a different function other than a mausoleum? Because as we go deeper, it's going to get more difficult. You're going to start seeing more stuff, more void set. But I think the, like, for each section of the deep dungeon, it serves a different purpose. That's my idea. Like, right now it's just a mausoleum. Go deeper, I don't know. God, I can't
You're talking about the floors that we currently have, or you're talking about like future floors?
The future floors.
Well, I mean, the floors we
Future
currently have are kind of inconsistent as well.
Yeah, and I've got a theory for that, which is far more speculative than what we're talking about at the moment.
Right.
But yeah, I suspect that all the ones that we have at the moment, what they literally are, despite what they appear at certain stages because of the effects that this weird dungeon is having on us, it is a kind of burial mausoleum sort of thing. And the deeper down we go, things getting more powerful. We can maybe attribute to their burying more powerful, more important people further down. Maybe they're just older, they've been there for longer, so the void scent that have taken those forms are growing more power. Or maybe it's whatever dark presence that's drawing us there, be it Edda, be it her puppet master or whatever. The closer in proximity we're getting to that, the more power is sort of emanating, you know what I mean?
Okay. I could get behind that.
Yeah. That's basically what I think the purpose of it is. Whether we're going to see new purposes for it, the further down we go, maybe we'll get to see like different sections of Gelmara. That would be pretty cool. I like that, but I don't really suspect that to be the case at the moment. If it is still the Palace of the Dead, if we get a different deep dungeon, obviously it's going to be.
Well, I mean, this Palace of the Dead will have 51 for 200, but they did say they already know where the next deep dungeon will be.
Mm-hmm. So we are definitely going through to 200.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, that's assuming that they didn't pull a diadem and tell us their plans, and then they have to completely pull back on them because
we hate it.
Because we hate it. Which I don't think. I feel like there's a mixed reception to Palace of the Dead because it's very simple, but at the same time, it's quite satisfying. It's almost
it's very satisfying
until you do it in a matched party. Then it's not.
Yeah.
Oh man. Oh man. And then we have our armor and our weapon.
Oh yeah, so we get in there and we're effectively at level 1. We're nerfed and our gear is useless, and we may as well be running around our underpants, which a lot of people are doing. Did you guys catch a reason for that?
Both the Wood Whaler and the Pajal tell you that it happens, but they don't tell you. They don't give you a definitive answer as to why. They just give you kind of speculation.
I know why I'm running around in my underpants.
Yeah, why?
Just saying.
Yeah.
How you doing?
What's that?
How you doing?
That's good.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, well, they effectively tell us that, and the Pajali makes a point that the elementals are really disturbed by what's going on in here. There's some sort of curse or enchantment on the place. When the Wood Whalers get in there, they find their strength being sapped. They found that they're filled with this sense of dread. They can scarcely put one foot in front of the other. And the Pajali explains to us that there's literally some kind of enchantment in there which is draining ether from our bodies, firstly, which explains why we're nerfed all the way down to level 1 when we get in there, is because it's just sucking out all of our ether. And secondly, obviously, it's sucking all the ether out of our conventional arms and armor, so they're rendered totally useless. So we may as well just be walking around naked for all the good that they're doing.
That's what I do.
Sure, I mean, why wouldn't you?
Yeah, I just put on my scholar legs or just whatever pants I have on, and I just go to town.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
So we get this ether pool gear instead. And the way that effectively works, as far as the Pagi have explained it, is that it's drawing our ether before the dungeon can, right? So we're equipping these things as we get in there, and it's sucking all of our ether into them. So it means that we still get nerfed down to level 1, but it means that rather having a completely useless weapon, we've still got something that we can use, right? And we get stronger down there as we go through, I guess, as a combination between the fact that we're finding these items that buff us, the fact that, we're absorbing ether from creatures that we defeat, which is strengthening us, and the fact that we're gradually, I guess, developing some sort of resistance, or gradually sort of adapting to this enchantment, and allowing more ether to come back into our bodies without, harming us, right? So that's how we level up in it. So I thought it was really good that we did actually get like proper lore explanations for the reason these sort of mechanics are happening in there. I thought that was really good. I was really satisfied with that.
Now we just got to find who's responsible for it.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll eventually will.
Oh yeah, we definitely.
Yeah.
will.
Oh yeah, definitely. So the other thing worth noting while we're down there, and I saw a couple of these in my first run, but I didn't realize the extent. I saw this Duskwhite Lancer, and I was like, that looks a lot like Folkez. And then when he died, he said the same thing that Folkez says when Folkez died. And I was like, hang on a fucking sec here. Folkez from the Lancer quest.
Yeah.
Yeah, is the antagonist for people who don't know what I'm talking about there. So I was like, that's crazy. So I go on my social media, and as usual, Unreal Anonymous is 2 steps ahead of me. Already done a huge write-up on a bunch of NPCs that have a rare chance of spawning in there that are actually dead adventurers and characters from our past, from early
Now you're talking about enemies, right?
Questline.
Well, they're not all exclusively enemies.
Not exclusively enemies.
Because I know for a fact when I was down there, I in comparison to all the other enemies, you see one kind of humanoid-looking enemy. And I forget. Called a spear, like a shaking spear, something I forget. And
spear shaking adventurer is a Mikote.
Yeah.
Yeah, and when you kill her, she says something about Dolores Bear, which is our hint. So Dolores Bear, you guys might remember the first couple of dungeons we had, Edda and Avir's party hanging outside the dungeons. We also had this other party of Dolores Bear, which were they were more successful than Edda and Avir. Let's just put it that way. However, they died in the Copperbell mines. So when we go into Deep Dungeon, we have a rare chance of seeing each member of Dolores Bear's party, which is quite interesting, running around in there. What else we have? We have the Ishgardian who stole the Chocobo egg from the beginning of the Gridanian intro. He's in there. We have the head of that little cult from the Uldar questline that stole the crown of the Sultana.
Garibald the Fargon.
Yeah, Garibald the Fargon, and used it to obtain the Traitor's Spurn, which is, of course, the alchemical concoction which was used to basically turn all the Sildins into zombies. Who else do we have? We have Bainrus. I think he's called Bainrus of the Deep, is his full title. And he is a Serpent Reaver, so he's one of Leviathan's bitches, and he's like kidnapping people from Limsa Lamitsa during the Limsa opening and sacrificing them to Leviathan. So we have him as well. Who else do we have? Someone else I'm forgetting.
We have the guy who's unknown, but he, Where Are My Men? Cloviswa Davha. It's an immortal flame. He's an immortal flame.
Yeah, so he's an immortal flame. Now, it's interesting in the patch notes, they made a point of his graphics not displaying correctly. So a lot of people are thinking, because this reference to Cloviso and Davar makes everyone think of Commander Ryder, who we see in that flashback of Cardano in A Realm Reborn is the only time he's referenced as codenamed Snake, when we've got Ralban going, Snake! Yeah, he's in 1.23b, hang around in Mordona just before we go and try and take out the lunar transmitter, and he's the commander of two immortal flames named Dava and Clovisois. So he's a Midlander. He has the same color hair. He's got a little goatee. He had a tattoo in 1.0, which isn't actually in the current game's options, as far as I know at this point. Mm-hmm. So anyway, the strongest theory at the moment is that it's this Commander Jacques Ryder, and I think that is probably who it is. I think that's all anyone has found down there so far. I know there's a lost goblin.
Yeah, but those spawn all over the place.
Yeah.
They do spawn all over the place. The first time I saw that was actually after I saw Folkez and Dolores Bear, and I was like, is this the goblin that got killed in Alexander, who I still think is Greyfox and no one else seems to believe is Greyfox?
I fought 2 or 3 of them at the same time, so...
Okay, all right, okay. Well, ignore that.
They are literally a lost goblin.
All right. So
Yeah.
I don't know if we've seen any other NPCs down there. Maybe we have. If you've seen any that we haven't listed, then please, send me a picture or something on Twitter.
But the end all be all to all these names, all these famous faces we've seen.
Mm-hmm.
How the fuck are they down here?
Well, what are they doing down there?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the real question, isn't it? I was thinking, maybe they're just like illusions being cast at us because they're people that we know. They're all people that we know.
In theory.
In theory. So maybe this puppet master is either, I guess using their literal souls and throwing them in our path, or just casting illusions in our path to sort of, wig us out.
Fuck with us. Yeah.
Yeah, just to fuck with us. The other point that someone made on my recent video, who was it? It was Burning Skull 13, I believe. And I think this is a really good point. This is really compelling, is that there might be something about this dungeon which is basically like a death sink. Is that all of these souls that die around the realm that are trying to get back into the life stream to, fuel Heidel and produce more life are somehow getting stuck. And there's something about this enchantment, something about, this mausoleum with all these dead bodies and therefore all of this void send energy that someone's been able to use to create some kind of great big net for dying people that get stuck in this place and can't return to the live stream. And I think that's a really compelling theory. And I think that gives us plenty of scope, obviously, as we go deeper down to encounter more dead NPCs.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty accurate... That's a pretty accurate way of looking at it. I don't think we'll see everyone who dies here. I feel like some deaths kind of result immediately in transference to the live stream.
I'm kind of going with the whole illusion thing. It kind of made me think of, I forget which one of the Deathly Hallows it was that made, I think it was the one that made Ron see like Hermione and Harry like just fucking evil and saying a bunch of bullshit to him. Yeah, but it's kind of like that. It's kind of like that Deathly Hallows, and that's what it makes me think of. So I think we're gonna see more illusions. I think they're just illusions, just fucking illusions.
That was also my first thought, considering particularly as we're told we get down there, the woodwearers start feeling really disoriented. They can't find their way. Every time we go down there, the layout has completely changed, which tells me that the same thing is happening to us, is that this enchantment isn't just sapping our strength, it's having a real effect on our senses and making us sort of, get lost and not be able to track our way around and making everything appear like it's changing, stuff like that. So my first thought that it was an illusion as well, but I find this idea of it being this sort of, because we need a motivation for whoever's puppeteering this thing, presuming it is an Ascian, which is the most likely suspect at the moment. They need a reason to be doing it that is more than just like, let's fuck with the Warrior of Light just for shits and giggles. And this is the most this idea of it being like this soul sync is the most compelling reason that I've heard so far in terms of the motivation for someone to actually be doing what they're doing.
So we're gonna see Gaius down there next time, of course.
No, Gaius is alive.
We're gonna see Gaius.
I'm not involved in this conversation. Go ahead.
We're gonna see Ice.
I've said my piece. I've said my piece on this shit.
What we might have to do is fight all of the Scions that were killed in the Waking Sands. So we might have to kill a little undead sylph.
Oh.
Oh.
Wandering sylph.
Yeah.
Do you think we'll see Ratatan and Livia?
Possibly. Yeah. I mean, it's and the way we've looked at the boss mechanics so far is that it's like recycling a lot of bosses in a more kind of basic and approachable form. Is I can totally see them using bosses that we've killed, recycled and using the same mechanics in a sort of, solvable, interesting way. So, yeah, I mean, fine. Ratatan, Livia, I don't know, anyone can be down there.
Anyone.
Yeah. And I think that's a fun way to sort of, they're already reusing the assets from other dungeons down there, and they're reusing models, they're reusing characters. May as well just reuse bosses. Why the fuck not? Right?
And music.
Yeah, and music. So why not just reuse bosses? Halfway there already.
There you go.
That would be a pretty good reason for it, I think, to revisit some old boss fights. I think that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
I think it would have been cool if it wasn't the same boss every 10 floors, other than maybe Edda. It would have been cool if it was like it was a bunch of different
Like
bosses.
randomly generated.
Not entirely random, with reason, like, because all the bosses, other than the Death Gaze, they have what feels to be a theme and a place.
So you're saying that they should have pulled from like a pool of potential bosses for each.
Right, because none of those bosses are so incredibly unique that you feel they need to be the boss for that floor.
Yeah.
We're gonna fight Raubon's other arm. Lost arm. I don't think arms alone have souls.
Well, we do fight Hellsclaw, which is a fucking giant hand. So it probably does make sense that Raubon's giant arm will turn fucking giant.
Hell's claws aren't just giant hands.
It's a giant hand. It's a giant mechanical fucking hand.
It's elegant.
It's a claw.
It's elegant.
So you just want to reskin that to Raubon's arm.
Yeah. Make it an entire arm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
there you go.
I just want to find Toledi Adeleji down there and just like kill him over and over and over.
What is he gonna have his top half and his bottom half separated?
I hope so.
Ooh, man.
Nidhogg zombie on the...
Y'all are just playing at it too fucking soon, man.
No, screw him. He's a scumbag.
God.
Just how we turned Veer's head into an Ahriman. Why don't we just turn his hand into a worm, to a sandworm?
Yeah.
I got that from the chat. Anyway, so there's one boss who we keep referring to, but we haven't spoken about yet, and that's Edda.
Yes.
On the 50th floor, Edda Blackbosom. Who has a snazzy new outfit, a scythe, and while it seems like a crazy bitch, she's a different type of crazy bitch this time around. Yeah, almost like it's not her talking.
No, she's like fully possessed.
Yeah. So what is she doing?
I don't know.
I think she really gave up on the whole gonna get married. Yeah.
No,
she gave up on that.
I don't think she did. I don't know. I feel like she's come to that place because of like the void energy and stuff like that. Whether or not she's possessed, I feel like there's still plenty of opportunities there for her to, gain power to bring a Veer back from the dead. I don't know. I think it's kind of like a Darth Vader sort of thing. You know what I mean? It's like she's a crazy.
Use the fucking dual hand. And that the thing occurred to me like every time when I went back to fucking Totorock, and then the thought about all the time she's tried to bring the fucking a beer back. I'm like, let's just use a dual hand.
Well, the Ariman thing that she used is like way more powerful than a dual hand. She wants him to have like a.
But he can't have genitalia if he's an Ahriman.
She can't bang a dual hand.
Not any better than she can the freaking
Well,
head.
the dual hand still has a body. At least it just
She wanted
it
to
just
use her
holds
body for a reason. She
Alright.
lured us into the deep craft hard mode to use our body because she knows we got a big dick.
I'm done.
Man,
That's the show, folks, ladies and gentlemen.
but between
no matter if you are a woman or man, you have a big dick, and Edda wants that shit. Done.
Especially if you're a female Mikote, we all know.
Man, last week we had save a tree, eat a beaver, and this week this. We are just.
I've seen the
downhill.
fan art, you
Oh,
guys.
we're done.
I've seen the fan art.
Man,
What, you haven't seen any big dick female Mikote fan art? I'll link you some if you like. It's hilarious.
He's got a full there.
I'm thinking of maybe like female row, like maybe just female row.
No, dude,
No.
everyone. Real talk though, there is some really funny like just crayon quality Final Fantasy XIV erotica out there. It's so funny.
There's a lot of it.
Man,
involved.
Australia gets really boring out there in the ocean, doesn't it?
It really does. Yeah,
God.
so when it comes down to it, we don't really know what Edda is doing there. But like you say, it seems like in the Tamtara Deepcroft hard mode, she was like driven crazy, but she was still her in a way.
Yeah.
But now, like, she's just totally possessed.
And I think the more now, when can we confirm that Edda really quote unquote died?
Now.
When did she die?
In deep, we're saying deep dungeon is when we killed her. Legit.
The idea is
No.
that, for me, the idea is that she did die there, but her body was left behind. Her body and soul were kind of taken, in a sense, by this, as you call it, a sink.
Yeah, I think she died in Tamtara hard mode.
In Temptar hard mode when she
When she
Fell.
fell.
off.
She says that the last thing she remembers is falling and then this robed figure sort of coming before her.
That's why I don't think she
The last
necessarily
members.
died there, but
And-
she lost herself as a person at that point. Her body is no longer her own, and her soul was clearly trapped and not allowed to go anywhere.
That's kind of what I mean. Is that like that's where she died, but someone's like grabbed her and like, you know, shoved her soul back down her throat, and like from that point, I feel like she's technically undead.
Okay.
That's why I kind of feel like Gelmora has an effect on her, not just her, but even who goes inside Gelmora.
Yeah. Okay.
He was one like before she even went in Gelmora, she was just normal Edda.
Yeah.
You know, and then once
She definitely has this connection with Gelmora, you're right, because Tamtara is where Evir died. That's where she first went mad. So maybe she's just like drawn to this place in her madness. It could be something as simple as that.
Right. And I don't think it's just her. I don't think it's just Edda. It's the environment itself. I mean, well, we know for a fact that Pyreo didn't get involved, like didn't get affected by it, but because he didn't go back down there. He was a bitch. He didn't want to.
Yeah.
Well, he also didn't die.
He didn't die. He got the fuck out. He was the cowardly one of the bunch. But who's to say that the longer you're there, the more it has an effect on you. And it was like Evir was just a catalyst, and the longer she remained, the more that Gelmora kind of got a hold, or whatever is deeper down there got a hold.
Is that the lore behind the time limit? Like, well, realistically, guys, we can't have we just put them on a time limit for everything. But why don't we?
If you don't clear it in the hour,
If you're not gone in an hour, we're pulling you out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I that's how I sort of assumed it was like, you know, it's not safe to spend all that much time down there. That's kind of what the Wood Whalers were saying. Particularly when you go in alone, they're like, fucking what, mate? You're crazy.
They give you a really dirty
think,
look. They're like,
Look, so I think you're definitely right. There's something about Gelmora, and the more I think about it, the more it seems to me. I'm going to be talking about. I don't want to spoil it, but I'm going to be talking about this in my next video on Palace of the Dead is that Gelmora seems to be this civilization that's like just obsessed with death and darkness. I mean, you can imagine what kind of effect it would have on the peoples to be banished from the wood and have to live in this cave underground. But they're living in amongst their dead. You know what I mean? Like, it seems they've got an underground city, they've got underground mausoleums. It seems like the city and the mausoleum sort of are very much like overlapping and sort of connected and sort of run into each other. So they're living among their dead. They're living among, you know, all of these void set baits all the time. They've got all of these, you know, wards and stuff against it. But it seems that the void and void send are very much a part of their culture and a part of their like day-to-day lives and things that they just have to deal with all the time. And I think we're going to find more and more about that as we go down.
Yeah, and I love how y'all just bring it back to pizza.
I just hope that the next 50 floors is a little bit more than a boss is stalking us and we beat the boss. Like,
Yeah,
I would at least
does.
want a stalker. That's what I kind of wanted, because like someone in chat brought up, and thank you so much for bringing this up. To me, I think it's like a reverse TARDIS. And shut up. They brought it up first. You can't blame me for this.
No, you brought it up first.
No,
You brought it up.
I had nothing to do with this.
You brought it up first 3 months ago.
Well, that's true. But still, it's really a reverse TARDIS in Persona. You know, you get trapped in TARDIS, and you eventually become a shadow. TARDIS gets a hold of you. Same with Gamora. You know, the longer you stay, the longer you become overcome by the shadows or Gamora itself.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, I think there's definitely something like that going on. Well, in either case, when we do defeat Etta, she talks about this robed figure, this hooded robed figure, and it might not be an Ascian, but let's be real. Like, we have to, at the moment, for lack of better information, we have to assume that it's an Ascian
Immediately.
right? Yeah.
It'd be irresponsible to do otherwise.
But think about it. How many rogue figures do we have in 14? Like, you can be talking about.
We got a bunch of rogue figures.
Uno Kalhai.
A non-player. You could Uno Kalhai.
Yeah.
And
Sure.
Ascian, anything. Yeah.
Definitely. But the path of least resistance when we talk about a rogue figure, just as a rogue figure doing something bad, is an Ascian. Like, that's what you've got to assume until you've got more information, as far as I'm concerned. I think.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
No. I thought you were done. No, finish your thought.
I just think we have to assume that it's an Ascian.
I like what people have been saying, that they feel that it might be Scarmiglione from Final Fantasy.
Yeah, I saw someone saying that. Again, like that's perfectly possible. They could bring Scarmiglione.
But we have nothing to substantiate it.
Exactly. Until we have more information, like I say, we have to assume that it's an Ascian. So what are the next bunch of floors going to be bringing? What's going to take us back in there? Are we trying to avenge Etta? Are we trying to just uncover the mystery? Like, why are we going back in there?
Well, the thing is, the elementals are pissed that it's happening, but we didn't stop anything. We just finished 50 floors, and then they were like, that's as deep as we can go.
Right now.
No, but I mean, we've already shown that we don't have any obligation to what the elementals want, considering
we're the adventurers. We have obligations to what everyone else but us wants.
They locked up a yokai, and they were like, "This is bad. We're locking up this yokai." And we're like, "You elementals, this thing's adorable."
You've never seen flying jizz? Yeah.
Yeah, it's adorable.
The Jizzometer 5000.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's exactly my point. Is that, I mean, you're probably right. That is probably what's going to motivate us, but it's like, I don't know. I feel like there needs to be something a bit more than that.
Yeah.
And the thing with Etta is, and you kind of touched on this before, and now I'm going into more detail about it.
Mm-hmm.
But laying Etta to rest, both, lore-wise and as a character. What do we think about that? How do we feel about, actually, have we really laid Etta to rest? Because honestly,
she thanks us.
Yeah, she thanks us, and we have the ceremony with Pyoreo where we take Etta in the Bear's rings and do a whole monument in that jazz.
Here's the thing. I've said this about Gaius. I've said this about everyone that we see die. Is that if we don't actually see their essence like evaporate in that way did, with Bahamut, then they're not properly dead. And that's why I always say, it's kind of about, in most things, if you don't see a corpse, like in a film, if you don't see a corpse, he's not dead.
It's not
the same sort of thing. If you don't see them evaporating, they're not dead. We saw Edda evaporating. We saw her soul, and her soul, glitter. And so Edda is as dead as Nidhogg. She's dead.
Now, how do we feel about laying her to rest as a character who we've known for quite some time?
She got such a fucking good run for such a minor character, for some passing. Oh, I admire you, adventurer. Oh, I want to be just like you when I grow up. That was all she was intended to be at the start.
And then she just couldn't overcome death, and she turns into a crazy bitch.
And I feel like Temtara hard mode kind of heightened that.
Definitely.
It kind of boosted us up a little bit to want more of it.
We asked for more, and then we got Temtara Hardcroft, and then we asked for more again.
I have to stop you. Everybody combines Tamtara Deepcroft hard mode into Tamtara Hardcroft, and I just can't hear that because I don't want to hear about the Hardcroft. It bothers me every time I hear it, the Tamtara Hardcroft.
Laura Hardcroft.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Exactly. For me with her, I'm happy she's kind of being laid to rest instead of being stretched really thin to the point where it's like, really, Edda again? Like, come on, it can't be you every time. We can't immediately say maybe it's Edda. No, this is it. We're done. She thanked us. Her soul's put to rest. Last time she thanked us, she turned into a crazy bitch. This time she's gone for good.
We can keep talking about her. We can go back into the deep dungeon and be like, we're gonna redeem Edda.
All I can say is that I'm glad that she's happily married, since it is called Black Honeymoon, not the Wedding Attack or whatever the other one was called from Tamtara. Because this one's actually a honeymoon, which implies post-marriage. So
what was it? Red Wedding, I think, in Temtara?
Yeah, Red Wedding, and this is Black Honeymoon.
And this is Black Honeymoon. I'm not sure that's entirely consensual. I'm just saying.
I don't know. That Aramon sure seemed to like her when she touched its head.
Its thing.
How you doing? How you doing?
I want to make the point as well that the Avir mount is not actually Avir's head.
No, it's not actually Avir's head.
No,
it's a statue.
Yeah, but I like to think that it's got Avir's soul in it, all the same.
Pretty much. I just so I have a question for you guys about Palace of the Dead. Okay. So floors 1 to 50, we take on Edda, we go through all this stuff, and we know there's going to be a 50, 51 to 100.
Right.
My question to you is, outside of having that level 50 quest completed, do you think level 51 through 100 will continue at level 60, or do you think that it will start at level 1 again?
Like, do you think it'll...
No, I think it'll
are you saying if we progress to where we're at, like, we're...
No, I mean, because I have a feeling that you're going to need a 450 save file to qualify. I have a feeling you're going to be able to start on 51 the same way you start on 1 to 10. You're not going to need a straight-up level... Like, you need the 50 save file to prove you beat it. You need the quest beat to prove you beat it. I have a feeling you're going to be able to enter floor 51 right from floor 51 and treat it again like 1 to 50 was, and it's going to be deep ether pool arm and deep ether pool armor. And it's gonna be.
I see what you're saying now. I see what you're saying.
They're gonna be like the enchantment. The enchantment doesn't work when you go that deep. I had to create a new one.
Now, for the arm and the armor, maybe, but in terms of your actual resetting your actual level, since like you're going deeper, you know, only imagine that shit's going to get tougher with level or stay at a consistent 60 with like a bunch of HP. So, I don't know about us resetting like completely the arm and armor. I'm kind of there with you, Happy, but like us in terms of our level, I don't think so.
I want to start at 60. Absolutely.
I want to start at 60 because I feel that it can be more interesting if we start at 60.
The thing is, like, you might think intuitively, oh no, then every time we do it, we're going to have to go through floors 1 to 50 again. No, we have some kind of shortcut, the Pad Jelly being like, hey, there's more deep dungeon deep. And we can start at 51, but I definitely want to start at level 60. Those first couple of instances are just so tedious. I think that when we get another deep dungeon, if it is successful and we implement another deep dungeon, whether it's probably going to be Belladire or something, if I had to guess, have that start at level 1 again. But this one, I definitely want to retain our progress and do more stuff at level 60, because that's definitely the interesting stuff. And we can treat it like, deep dungeon hard mode or extreme mode or whatever.
If they do that, they need to make it so it's not killing enemies only. Because you can't have that if you're level 60. The entire enticement of killing enemies is for the upgrade chests and to level.
Yeah, it's not enough. Which is why, and I think a few people I heard make this point, I think this is really interesting, really compelling, is they were designing Deep Dungeon and the Aquapolis around the same time. I can't think of any reason why they couldn't have something that kind of acts somewhere in between, as in like something like Palace of the Dead that actually has like usable loot in it, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like some decent mats, some decent chests and stuff like that. And if they did that for the next 150 floors, I reckon that would be pretty tight.
A Gilmoran treasure.
Sure.
Gilmoran Potsherd too.
Yeah.
There you go.
And either literally, find like treasure chests and mats and stuff that drop there and rare minions or whatever else, or be able to trade the potsherds for stuff that, stimulates the market. Right. Give a reason for people to keep doing it. Because people are still doing the Aquapolis. I'm still doing the Aquapolis every week.
Oh, yeah. The Quap is still probably their most successful piece of, like, just new-ish idea.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is just killing enemies for 7 floors. They're like, here, now do it for 50.
Now, since we're kind of touching on that, one thing I wanted to ask both of you, do you think they should add more incentives to Deep Dungeon?
There's a shit ton of incentives in there already.
There's a lot of incentive. It's good leveling. It's great. It's a great way to get, The thing is, you can level up through Deep Dungeon and not have to farm any gear from any dungeon. And then as soon as you hit level 60, you've got a 235 weapon. That's heaps of incentive. If you haven't got every class at level 60, you should be in Deep Dungeon doing it.
And also, pre-level 50, the amount of EXP you get is monstrous. Post-level 50, you have to do all 50 floors for it to really be noticeable post-level 50.
It's still good.
But it's still decent. It definitely shines more with the armory bonus at lower levels. Because you have to remember that the bonus from when you exit is affected by armory.
Yeah.
On top of
and
that,
again, the thing that really appeals to me about those early levels is that you don't have to worry about gear. And that's just like a really tedious thing, when you've got like a whole bunch of level 60 classes and you're like, oh, I'm gonna have to go and buy all this low level gear. I'm gonna have to craft something. I don't have any inventory space. It doesn't matter. You can just wear your, L's and Surcoat or whatever it is and level through to 60 if you want. Like, it's sweet.
And on top of that, you have the EXP. The tomes are decent if you're farming up for your weapons.
Okay,
that's true.
You have grade 5 materia from the potsherds, which, granted, don't drop very often. It's not a super reliable source, but it can't be a super reliable source.
I didn't realize that we could trade them for materia.
Yeah, you can trade them for the minions, the mount, or one Gilmoran potsherd is a grade 5 materia, a grade 5 combat materia.
So it's one for one.
It's one Gilmoran potsherd for one materia. So every 50th floor or lucky bronze chest you get, it's technically that. Which is another reason I liked solo, by the way, so I could get all of them for myself. I'm just saying, getting all those Gilmoran potsherds solo was welcome.
You got the mount yet?
Yeah, I have the mount. I got the mount on my 7th clear, which actually no, my 7th clear was my solo clear, so I technically got it on my 6th clear because I got 4 Gilmoran potsherds from bronze chests.
Dang.
Yeah. So
nice.
Yeah. I feel like I heard someone was about to say something.
No?
Sly? I thought Sly was about to say something.
Well, yeah. I was about to say that. Well, a lot of these, besides the materia and everything, you talk about leveling. That's for people who are still leveling. A lot of people, already have weapons, already I'm speaking more along the lines to. Well, I know you probably don't have everything ready have, but more along the lines of, oh, I have everything at 60. I already have all my weapons. I don't need anything.
Yeah, but those people you're never gonna please, so don't try to.
Exactly.
Those people you're never gonna please, ever, unless you make it a 245 weapon that's got better stats than their savage weapon. That's it. That's the only way, and then they'll complain about that instead. So, trust me, I know because I used to do that.
Yeah, they can't really do it any better than how they've done it, I feel, at the moment.
Okay.
Other than, please don't make us do those, 1 to 10 and 10 into just make the next one's at 60, please.
To talk about that, there was the hotfix earlier today. For anyone who doesn't know, Edda now gives a guaranteed +1/+1 to weapon and armor upon completing her. But also, they made the earlier floors drop upgrades more frequently, and people have been getting upgrades regardless of floor. Like, I've seen somebody in the chat even during this hit +30 on floor 2.
What?
It's possible. Now you can still get exploding chests. You can still get mimics. It can still remain unchanged.
But they've removed that whole issue where you can only get to your +30 in the final instance.
Right. It's just that your odds are better the higher up that you are.
Right.
So
well,
that's still
a relief.
Right?
That's a huge relief.
Yeah. So they made it significantly easier, and they've given people a reason to actually kill Edda. PSA, by the way, if you still are a piece of shit if you are still a piece of shit and want to leave your matched party or deliberately wipe them because you're not happy with your progress, you can actually beat Edda and before exiting, force quit out of your game, and it will kick you out, and you will not save the progress. Do that instead of just fucking deliberately wiping your groups and matched parties, please. Don't do that. Don't do that. I don't even do matched parties, and I feel for those people.
Is that a problem there? Are there seriously a lot of people doing that?
Oh, yeah. Only in match parties, obviously, because in a fixed party, if you do that, it's not going to be fixed for much longer. But
No.
in a matched party, yeah, it's really
doing
common.
that.
Yeah.
Stop.
Stop it. Stop it. Okay. All right.
Okay.
There you go. Yeah, and I mean, you can still get unlucky and get no upgrades. It's still not guaranteed, but at least Edda will give you something. There we go. Okay.
That's incredible.
Do you have anything else you'd like to bring up regarding Palace of the Dead, Ethys?
No, but I will say while we're wrapping it up, I saw one interesting Gelmoran question from the chat, which I'll answer. And if anyone has any more questions about Palace of the Dead or about Gelmoran,
Use your words.
Use your words. So someone asked a few times whether Toto Rock is Gelmoran, and we were talking about this a little bit earlier. It's unclear. What we know about Gelmoran from the Duty Finder is that, it's what the Duty Finder says anyway, is that it was built basically for the Pajali to use as a prison during the early days of Gridania. And it's very evident from down there, there's a lot of cells, and they named it after this demon from Pajali legend with 1,000 mouths. And the Abbassination Chamber, where the final boss is, to abbassinate someone, this is really fucked up, tells you a little bit more about the Pajali. To abbassinate someone is to get a hot iron, like a smoldering hot iron, and press it into someone's eyes to blind them.
That doesn't sound very nice.
No, it was a form of medieval punishment. And that's what the Pajali were doing to people until quite recently. And if they had it their way, Isn't that what?
Oedipus. Isn't that how he blinded himself?
No. You're talking about Oedipus Rex.
Yeah.
Yeah, Oedipus Rex blinded him. He basically pulled his eyes out.
Oh yeah, that's right.
After he found out that he'd been, banging his mom.
Banging his mom. Yeah.
Yeah, he was like, I don't want to ever see anything again because, I don't want anything to bring me any pleasure, and he pulls his eyes out. But I mean, it'd be a pretty similar experience.
Yeah.
I guess at least if you're burning them, you're cauterizing them.
That's great.
And get them back. Yeah.
Glass half full. I have a question. I have a question for you, Ethys.
Yeah, sure.
Who the fuck is this Pajal, and where did they come from?
This Pajali in particular?
Yeah. We've never heard of them, never seen them before, and now they're here.
Look, apparently we have someone made the comment on something that I was doing recently. They were like, "Oh my god, that Pajali! Yeah, you talked about him like 18 months ago. And I was like, did I? So apparently we have seen him somewhere. I don't fucking remember. I don't even remember what his name is now. But we know a lot of the Padjali, they're, very seclusive. We know that that Kani Sanar wasn't in
Preach.
for like presumably centuries. I mean, she's like 1,000 years old or some bullshit.
Still look good.
Oh God.
Yeah, still that 14-year-old body. Too old. Yeah, so there's presumably dozens of Padjali that we haven't met that are just like hiding in seclusion somewhere in the shroud. So I don't know, but apparently we have seen him before. So
All right. Well, hopefully we learn more about them because it's very it's kind of unsettling to just hey, by the way, there's this new Pajal. And that's it.
Majoga asks, is the caduceus carved into the wall after Edda by the exit have any significance? Is there a Serpentarius connection? No, I don't think there's a Serpentarius connection. I see what you're getting out there, that maybe it's got something to do with Elidibus. You'll notice that it is almost identical to the Twin Adder sigil, the Twin Adder banner. I'll talk about this in the next video that I do, but my suspicion is there's something very similar going on here to how the Belladines basically used Sephiroth's symbol in worship of Azima. So I've taken these old symbols and using them in a different way. And the same way that the sigil of the Grand Companies of the Grand Company, I should say, of Uldar, weighing the flame and the gem is a kind of bastardization of old Belladine symbols. So something like that going on. I'm going to talk about that. I have theories about that. So yes, it is significant.
He has theories, but you'll have to wait till part 2 to find out about them.
Were the Padjali common in the days of Amdapor? No, they were not. The Padjali were created by the elementals, basically impregnating Hyur women in Gelmora, so that they could leave Gelmora, they could come into the Twelveswood, they could rebuild this Twelveswood civilization, being this sort of human elemental hybrid, being able to literally communicate with the elementals, which no one could really do before in a direct and literal sense. So the Padjali did not exist during the time of Amdapor.
Which is why I don't think they'll ever be a playable race.
No, they won't be. Absolutely not. What about the theory Gelmora is still thriving deep underground? I don't think so. We know that there are a couple of Duskwhite that are still like holed up in Gelmoran ruins. But if you go to the Gelmoran ruins in the South Shrouds at Isom Ha, where the two Duskwhites are peering over and they've been, using it as like a dig site or whatever, you find out that their motivation for uncovering it is so that the Duskwhites that have been ostracized from Gridania, there's a lot of racism and stuff towards them. It's so that they can actually start living in that space again, which tells me that obviously it's not currently being lived in, aside from by a few, hermits and vagrants. So
And
there we go.
And Edda.
And Edda.
Yeah.
So I think that's all the questions we've had. So that's Gelmora, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh yeah, that's Gelmora. Oh yes. I will remember these things for State of the Realm. I will try.
Right. You do that.
Yeah.
Mike, do we have any news announcements?
The only big thing is that there's Duty Commenced, the Culling Time, the Shatter edition. That's this Friday at
No. It's not. It's in Akmorning just told me yesterday it's not just strictly Shatter. There will be some peace.
Oh, okay. Well, that's confusing. You call it Shatter Edition then. I'm just gonna put that out.
You lying to us, Akmorning?
Nice. Well, now if you're lying to us, we're not sending you that Ethys calendar.
And it will be on Primal Data Center. So if you're on Primal,
only good boys and girls get the Ethys calendar.
Yeah, no.
So if you're on Primal, it'll be on Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific. So definitely hop on Primal. I know I'll be on.
I can't wait to see that. Like tomorrow, they announce the next live letter. Like it's just like this happens every show. Every show.
totally will.
Man, we were really hoping they were
The half's gonna be like, I told you it was gonna be tomorrow.
Oh, I know one thing we didn't. There's two things that we didn't talk about.
Mm.
There's a free login campaign right now from July 25th through August 30th. As soon as you log in, you decide, hey, I played the game like a long time ago. I'm going to log into these free login campaigns, which only work for people with previous inactive accounts, at least inactive for 30 days. As soon as you log in, it basically gives you 5 days to play. So if you log in at like 7 p.m. Eastern today, 5 days from now at 7 p.m. Eastern, your access will be closed. So keep that in mind.
5 days?
Yeah, 5 days.
Let's be real. 5 days is enough to like catch up on most content.
Yeah, I don't think
Pretty
you should
much.
say you probably shouldn't say that out loud. Sounds a lot worse out loud than it actually is.
No, I'm just saying that like people that want to come back, they will get to see a fair amount of the game, and you know it'll give them a good idea of whether they should resub or not, which they should.
And the other thing is, there was a very fantastical new optional item added to the cash shop today. Yeah, it is, and I'm gonna pull it on screen here in a few minutes. Let me just switch to the media tab right here. Oh no, that's not the right one. That's the. Well, I mean, you guys can look at that. Yeah, well, it's pretty close, believe it or not. It's the it's from Aerosivia. I switched to our media tab, and so it's Louis Slyh. In all of his glory, it's Louis Slyh. So it is this. Here it is. All right. It is a fat Moogle mount.
I've seen a few of those today in Fates. I was like, what the fuck am I seeing? I haven't seen that mount before.
Yeah, it's a giant Queen Moogle mount. I mean, that is so fat that it carries a little bench under it, and it is a 2-seater flying mount that costs $30.
People actually have paid for this because I've seen it at least twice in Fates. People are paying for this.
Gilgamesh, there are a lot of these things.
Woo.
Of course there are. Look, it'll be great for giveaways and stuff. Like, you you guys all know how Mike and I feel about the cash shop. I don't know. How do you feel about the cash shop? So I don't know if I've talked to you about the cash shop.
It's a necessary evil.
It's a necessary evil.
It's a necessary evil. I hate calling it evil. But I know
Evil.
we obviously are free to play. It thrives more on the free to play market. But for things this ancillary, yeah, put them in the cash out.
I mean, keep in mind it's $30. You're not only are you paying for a flying
It's a
mount,
lot of money.
it's
There's
It's a
of money.
count wide. It's a 2-seater, and it plays the Good King Moggle Mog music.
Don't we already get that in
Good King Moggle Mog.
Orchestrion?
Yeah, but not when you're not carrying around a fucking.
I mean, I know
jukebox,
you're not
right?
carrying around an Orchestrion. I'm not saying don't we already have the music?
Yeah, of course you do.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, you can't bring it with you everywhere. You don't have a jukebox.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Mobile Orchestrion.
yeah,
There you
for
go.
the Good King Moggle
There you
Mog
go.
song.
You want to do?
Yeah.
I do.
There you go.
This is the scariest looking fat Moogle I've ever seen before in my life.
That shit is fat. I'm sorry.
Oh, dear.
Yeah.
So yeah, that came out
Fattest
today.
Moogle.
How do you? Yeah, I was gonna ask how we feel about it, but I don't even think I want to start that conversation.
Yeah.
No,
It's just fucking fat.
Let's just say this: that is 30 whoppers, and I feel like in the process, the
sure
Moogle
is.
ate them all and ended up like this. That's
Have you
how
ever
I feel
watched?
about
Have
it.
y'all ever watched Squidbillies?
What is this, like $8,000 Australian, Ethys?
Yeah, something like that. It's $30. It's like, man, I could buy a house for that. Damn.
Okay, so about 8,000 AUDs. Got it. It's about 40 I would say Californian dollars, Canadian dollars.
Californian dollars.
Californian dollars. Like it is just its own republic. Thanks, Happy.
Yeah.
We are in the wasteland.
Okay.
Is
Yeah.
like the legal currency in California like tacos?
Yes.
Is it just like literally people just trade
I'm
tacos
done.
for things?
I'm done.
No, he's not wrong, believe it or not. So 2 months sometime or a fat Moogle.
I'm in
yeah.
California. I know LA. Jesus.
Yeah, in Vegas, they just everything is casino money and hookers, so you'll get used to that very quick. Sounds a lot like your Friday night. Okay, there we go. All right. So on that note, now that we've gotten that news out of the way, we got the very exciting Fat Moogle mount news out of the way that everybody's looking forward to.
It's basically the Fat Moogle is basically a Moogle version of Crystal from Squidbillies. Like, it just doesn't move. It floats everybody and can pick everybody up if you want to, even if you're a fucking rodent. It's just that fat. I won't be getting it, but have at it, to each his own.
Yeah, good luck. Good luck with that mount. Good luck with that mount, people. Anyway, we're gonna wrap things up. Ethys, why don't you tell everyone where? Hey, is that a new sock?
Yeah, it's a new sock. It's a dress sock. Nice, clean one. The old one had spiders.
Nice. You got
I don't know.
a little.
It still had spiders. I pulled off the old one, and a bunch of spiders ran out. I was like, ooh, that can't be good for my microphone.
The spiders ran out of your sock?
Yeah.
Were they Australian spiders that were like
I would assume that they're
5,000? But I mean, like, there's spiders and then there's Australian spiders, right? Like, there's the normal size spiders in Australia, and then there's the ones that are like the size of a Lamborghini.
Honestly, it's the little ones that are more deadly here.
Well, it's always the case, yeah.
Better if it was like one big spider. I've been on like, hey, what's up, dude? But when it's like a whole bunch of little spiders, you're like, nope, fuck no. And chat just told me, this is the fucking third time I've heard this week. Hey, that guy, he kind of looks like, is that dude from Transformers, Shia LaBeouf? No. I've heard that 3 times this week. I'm not Shia LaBeouf.
I still remember that video and I love it.
Are you talking about my one?
Type Zero. Yeah,
my
Type Zero video.
I'm not Shia LaBeouf. Yeah, fuck, that's an oldie. All right, so you can follow Shia LaBeouf at Twitter at Ethys FFXIV. I'm not Shia LaBeouf. YouTube.com/EthysAsher. Thank you all for hanging out. I'm not Shia LaBeouf.
Wait, Slyh, don't go yet. Don't go yet, Slyh.
Are you seriously?
No, I'm not.
Face over me right now. Is that what's happening?
No, just Slyh. Don't say anything yet. I'm just gonna do this real quick.
Actual cannibal Ethys Asher. That's the one.
No, there we go. Okay. What I could do even better is I could do that. Okay, and then that's a little too much. Okay, that worked.
See, I was hoping that the new webcam with a high definition would actually make it more apparent that I don't look anything like Shia LaBeouf. But it seems to be having the opposite effect.
There we go. Well, I just got exactly what I wanted out of it. So now, Slyh, you can start sharing where what you were gonna say.
Yeah, well I was gonna say. You can find me on twitch.tv/Slyakagreyfox. You can find me on Instagram at Slyakagreyfox07. You can find me on Twitter at Slythefox. You can find me on Behemoth Plot 14 Ward 5 with the Lavender Beds, where I'm right now just chilling with my thoughts. Feeling like you.
I'm Mr. Happy. This is Dwayne. You know him. He's been on vacation the last couple of days because he hasn't been part of my streams. Unfortunately, people have missed this big old rock over here. You can find me pretty much everywhere, Mr. Happy127. Twitter, Facebook, Twitch, YouTube. Those are some pretty good places. Pornhub. That's another one. Cornhub. Yeah, Cornhub. Yeah. There we go. I had that discussion with somebody else.
Cornhub.com/MrHappy1227.
There you go. And then also, I'm taking part in about 9-week-long marathon from July 25th to September 30th. Going to be playing through every single player. I always get so jumbled in this. Single player main numbered Final Fantasy game from 1 through 13 from July 25th to September 30th. We finished Final Fantasy 1 today, 2 days into the marathon. We start Final Fantasy 2 tomorrow, and I am dreading that with all of my heart. That's all I got to say. Final Fantasy 2. Yeah, that's
It's the 27th already. Jesus Christ.
It's tomorrow. No, today's the 26th.
Tomorrow's the 27th.
Tomorrow's the 27th.
Today for me is the 27th.
Okay, well, that's because you're on a different planet. Okay.
That's exactly what that is.
Yeah, that's exactly what that is. Because time zones are stupid. I've already established this. Time zones are stupid. Time is stupid. To be fair, daylight savings time is very stupid. Yeah. So we're gonna be playing through all those, and we got a bunch of events. It's been going good so far. Final Fantasy 2 is gonna be. It's better than the Ice Cave. Okay, I'll just throw that out there.
Really?
It's better than the Ice Cave. You
I
don't.
think anything's worse than the Ice
don't
Cave. That was
know.
so funny.
You don't know.
Isn't 2 the one that had not the exploit?
It's the one where you level by punching yourself in the fucking face.
It wasn't an exploit, but that shit. Yeah.
That's not an exploit. That's how you play the game.
That's how you play it.
If anyone's ever wanted to play Rochambeau, but you're playing it on your own, that's basically what Final Fantasy 2 is.
Yeah.
I can't think of a better way of putting it. But on that note, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us this week. We will see you next week for episode 74 of State of the Realm. Until then, have a good night and take care.
See you next week. Shia LaBeouf.
Wait, isn't today episode 74?
No, it's 73 today.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
All right, 74. Are you sure?
I'm mostly sure.
You're mostly sure. Are you sure, though?
I'm like 74% sure.
It's going down.
No, you're right. No, you're right. It is 74. I misnumbered it.
Yeah, boy.
Unless I misnumbered. Oh, you know what it is? Okay, I know what happened here. So I took a look on my personal files to determine that. And State of the Realm number 72 is for some reason saved as 71, and 73 is saved as 72. So when I looked at those, basically I overwrote, instead of creating a new file when I made State of the Realm 72, I just overwrote 71 and then rendered.
Right.
So then the next week I was like, okay, the next week is then, okay, it's 73, so then 72, okay. But then I think every week what I've done is I've gone and looked at the number on YouTube and been like, well, that doesn't line up. And then I just fixed it.
Right,
so it's
because
actually
I looked
74.
I looked at YouTube and I was like, yeah, 74. I know what we're up to.
Yeah, so 75. I'm going to include this entire segment where we discuss that in the video. See you next week for episode 75.
Bye.
Again. Bye again. Oh, man. That was a fun show. So you know what I need? So you know what I actually need to do tonight?
What do you need to do?
I need to actually start Final Fantasy 2, but not stream it, and I need to just start beating the shit out of myself a day early, so I can beat the shit out of myself.
You're just gonna start grinding, or you're just gonna emotionally prepare yourself?
No, you just start grinding the stats now, and then you just blow through the game the next day.
All right, yeah, that makes sense.
Because realistically, do you really want me to just equip 2 shields and beat the shit out of myself for 7 hours? Because that's what my stream's going to be tomorrow, if it comes down to it.
That sounds amazing!
But it's not going to be me equipping 2 real shields like IRL.
Yeah. Well, why can't you, do it while you do it? Do a meta stream, equip 2 shields, and beat yourself up while you beat yourself up.
I guess it's better than beating myself off on beating myself off.
Let's see, clear it without grinding the stats.
I want to see me clear it.
No, that's
at all.
In chat.
So yeah, I know. I'm just saying I want to see me clear it at all. And Final Fantasy 2 is agonizingly annoying if you do not do that. When you get to the Dreadnought, it is an awful, awful experience. One that I have lived through before and would like to not live through again. Please and thank you.
I just habitually grind for hours and hours at the start of every
Now
Final
see,
Fantasy.
that's fine, but this isn't you habitually grinding. This is you habitually punching yourself in the face.
Yeah, but it's the same thing. Just a different way of doing it.
The only problem with starting the save file tonight is I name my characters after subs, and I can't do that if I start the game tonight. I would basically need... I mean, I could just RNG it, and then but then they might not even know they get named.
Here's what you should do. You should name them after me and Sly, so you can have us punching ourselves in the face over and over.
That'll make incredibly
appealing. That'll make the whole game way more tolerable for you.
I think it actually will. I think I like that idea. I'll do you, Sly, Little, and Grindy. There you
Right,
go.
the 4 people.
No,
you
no, no,
hate most in the
no.
world.
No, I can't do Grindy. Grindy RNG'd his way into being a monk in the last game, and he shit on everyone.
Right. So who else do you hate enough?
By the way, chat, I put the perfect link in chat that you want to see. That legitimizes Ethys.
Is this?
Oh, the shy surprise.
I haven't watched this for like.
Oh my god!
Yeah, it's nearly a year.
That's what had me cracking up.
It's nearly a year. I can't believe I did this. Like, what was I thinking?
You've done this to yourself, and then you got your hair cut like you just did. You've done this to yourself. No one is responsible but you.
Oh my god.
No one.
Why haven't I gone to Tony for this?
Nobody is responsible for this except you. You are.
I don't know. I feel like there was an Etta situation going on here. I think it was Scumiglione. Not gonna lie.
Scumiglione.
Yeah, I'll post it again.
Jesus Christ. I'd totally forgotten about that, dude. Oh man. I couldn't even finish that playthrough. That's how tedious I found Type 0. I'm sorry, I know you love it. I just couldn't do it.
It's okay. It's an acquired taste for everybody. That's fine. It's fine.
That's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, so it's poop.
Oh,
wow, that's just hateful.
just gonna shit on my game. Huh.
Your game? What, you designed Type 0, did you?
Yeah.
From
You're gonna
scratch.
shit on my favorite Final Fantasy.
Have you got any access to the Type 0 online thing that they're doing?
Yeah.
Because I don't think that's going to get an NA release, is it?
No, it's not. It's just gonna be strictly Japan.
Right.
It's
So you're
being
not,
beta
like,
tested
desperate
in
enough to get
China.
BlueStacks and
I mean, I could. I mean, I do have BlueStacks. I can.
It's being beta tested in China.
yeah, in China.
I know. Excuse me.
So
Yeah.
here's what we're gonna
Wait,
do.
you trying to say something about the quality of Chinese beta testing?
I'm saying that that's as far it's one thing to be beta tested in like Japan or Europe.
Yeah.
It's a lot harder to get into something when it's being tested in China.
Oh, right.
Right.
But Crucible, the thing you gotta realize about that is,
Why is
talking
Burns
about-
Twitter on the post-show screen and not Ethys?
yeah, because Ethys is Magic Man.
Amateur.
We talked about that
It's
earlier.
because we were talking too much in the pre-show.
Right.
Normally I take that time and I focus and I get everything done.
Right.
And this time
But-
you distracted me.
Yeah, but Crucible, the thing about that is every early RPG.
No, that one's not right either.
Even the '90s RPGs were grindy as fuck.
That one has.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
Like,
that's true.
So yeah, when you mention Persona, yeah, it's fucking grindy. I hate having to grind every single dungeon just to get like spell cards and do negotiations, which is fucking ridiculous because you have to level everybody to a fucking negotiation.
All right, so here's what I'm gonna
Yeah.
do. Hey, subs in the chat. If you're gonna be here for Final Fantasy Count Up, type something. And I'm just gonna pick the names now. I'm gonna draw the names now. Fucking Shia LaBeouf and something. I hate both of you. I hate both of you. I hope you get picked as Maria. Ethys.
Who? Ethys.
So, yeah. Boop.
Dude, I'd love to be Maria, definitely.
Something. Eat a Snickers, Ethys. You're not yourself when you're hungry.
Is that right?
Yep. Just do it.
So you reckon if I eat a Snickers, I'm gonna become either Shia
No.
LaBeouf or-
You're a Shia LaBeouf without the Snickers, and you're Ethys with the Snickers. That's how the commercials work. That's how the commercials work, Ethys.
Right. Okay, I follow.
Yeah. You're the celebrity when you're hungry, and you're unimportant when you're you.
Wow.
I mean, that's
That's,
basically that's what
damn.
all the commercials
that's my
are.
life right there. Yeah.
That's That's what all the commercials are. All the commercials are they get some big celebrity and it's like, you're not you and you're hungry, have a Snickers. Then they turn into themselves and you're like, who the fuck is that?
Yeah, it's
Who
like,
cares?
why the fuck would they eat the Snickers?
All right.
Wouldn't you want to stay as Betty White?
Yeah.
Exactly.
All right, let's see. Wubster gets the first one.
Although there's the one with Mr. Bean, and he becomes Jet Li, doesn't he?
I did not know that.
Haven't you seen that one?
No, I have to look that shit up.
It's really funny.
Snickers?
Mr. Bean Snickers commercial. It's a really good one.
You're Mr. Bean. Crucible.
How about that?
The only problem with these old
Maybe it's just an
games,
Australian one.
you know, the only problem.
Apparently, it has subtitles, so
I mean, then again, everything that Mr. Bean says needs subtitles, so
it's a Chinese.
don't deny it. And don't deny it. Panda. Oh, none of you two are winning. Neither of you two have won. Oh, that was close.
Yeah.
Listen, I didn't make the rules. I just made them.
Yeah, you did.
I didn't make the rules. I made them.
I just make the rules.
I just make the rules in Haku. Okay. No. Now that person has
You
nothing.
lose focus when you're hungry.
There we go. Now I've got my victims. I mean my characters.
Snickers gets.
Did somebody say Snickers gets me hard? Who said
No,
that?
like the end of the ad said Snickers gets some nuts.
Get some nuts.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't literally Jet Li, and now I feel like a racist.
I'm looking
And
for Jet Li in that entire ad, and I'm like, he's not even fucking.
I thought it was for some reason.
No,
So, yeah.
man.
so you know what I'm gonna do so there's like an opening sequence to Final Fantasy 2. What I'm gonna do is tomorrow, so people can still see said opening sequence.
Yeah, all right.
I'm just gonna start a new game, show the opening cutscene, and then load the right save file.
Hmm.
That way, everybody gets to be a part of it. I like how the very first fight in here is against 4 enemies that all one-shot you, and yeah, that's fun. It's scripted, but still. I always wanted to be stronger through self-flatulation. What the hell is that noise? Is Ganon coming? Seriously. I'm scared. You guys don't hear that?
Honey, shit.
Probably because it's coming from... I just heard what sounded like the scariest sound I've ever heard in my life. It's like boom,
To the family, son.
boom, boom, boom.
I still need to get back. Well, no, we'll have to wait. Like, I still need to get back to the Resident Evil 7.
It's one of those Australian spiders.
I'll get you.
One day I'm going to see one of those spiders on your back wall and I'm going to freak the fuck out.
Really?
And it's going to be one of those big ass spiders, and Ethys is going to say, "Oh,
Oh yeah, no, that's
Oh.
Steve.
The big ones are harmless.
spider."
Actually, I did name a spider a while ago that was hanging around for a long time.
Did you name it Steve?
No.
It wasn't the spider from Battleborn named Steve?
No, his name was Jeff.
Jeff, yeah. Jeff the spider.
Or no, his name was Jeff,
good
but he
name for a
called
spider.
himself Arachnus.
Spider.
Spider.
I'm a spider.
I loved Arachnus. All right, gentlemen. I think it's about time we wrapped up this post show.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Terrible.
I'm just gonna ignore that
Yeah.
voice.
Yeah.
All right.
That one's fine.
I had a crocodile hunter moment earlier.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there was an enemy called a were-tiger, and I was like,
The
that's
were-tiger.
that's a were-tiger, one of the most ferocious creatures to stand on 2 legs, half man, half tiger. I'm gonna go stick my head in its mouth.
I'm gonna go fuck it.
That's
So,
basically-
Ethys, can I,
What?
Why do you always have to have sex with it, Ethys?
Can I expect you for a poker room?
What, tonight?
Friday.
Friday? Yeah. That's Saturday for me. Yeah, I'll be around. Definitely, dude.
Pop, poker face. Pop, poker face.
Thank you, Mike.
Yeah, it was fun.
Oh yeah, here it is. Here you go, Mike. Check the.
Is that an Australian spider?
Yeah.
What am I checking? It's curse?
No.
He put a. Yeah, he put a tweet.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the spider you named? Gandalf? Oh, that's not so bad. I expected it to be bigger. Giggity.
It's pretty big. Yeah, it's pretty fucking big.
I've seen more impressive.
The bigger ones are harmless, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It's just it defines what kind of spider they are. Probably usually the way they hunt prey. They're too busy killing birds to kill a person.
Yeah, well, they don't need any venom when they're larger ones.
Yeah, because they're just they overpower with size. Giggity.
Yeah.
Where do I buy shields in this game? I need 2 shields immediately. Please give me... The thing about Final Fantasy II is even if you do grind out, there's segments of the game where you have to use forced party members that only last for a certain portion of the game. And so you have to decide, am I seriously going to do this right now? Like, is this going to be my life?
That's kind of normal though, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, all right.
That's kind of an RPG trope.
Yeah.
You're an RPG trope.
You're an RPG trope.
I mean, yeah.
Good response. Good response.
I mean, yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna go and do my day, you guys.
Do your day.
All right,
go
Do that day. Do that day hard, damn it.
Alrighty then. So everybody, thank you for joining us for post show. We will we'll see you in next week.
Next week.
See you guys.
I'll see you in a few minutes.
Yeah.
Bye.